Hello, Namaskar, Vanakkam. My name is S Sudhir and you're watching your digital classroom Study with Sudhir. इस वीडियो में हम बात करेंगे ISC क्लास 12 के इंग्लिश लिटरेचर के पेपर के बारे में. That is slated for the 14th of February 2023. You would agree, quite an interesting date. So whether this paper indeed turns out to be your Valentine will depend on what you do between today and the 13th of February. करेक्ट है ना कि आज की तारीख में और 13 फरवरी के बीच में आप क्या करते हैं, इस पर निर्भर करेगा कि ये पेपर कितना अच्छा जाता है. So I will tell you broadly 5 points and this is based on my own understanding and I'm also responding to some of the frequently asked questions from students of class 12. Now what you will get in this video are practical tips. Okay, practical tips based on my experience, based on my understanding. सीधी बात, no फालतू बकवास out here. Okay, because I do believe that your time is important, my time is important. It's a professional relationship. Okay, first thing, remember that for your batch also, strangely enough, this is the first board examination. क्योंकि 2 साल पहले आपकी 10वीं कक्षा के एग्जाम्स, बोर्ड एग्जाम्स कैंसल हो गए थे लास्ट मिनट पर. Remember, because of the pandemic. So in many senses, you and the present 10th class batch are more or less the same. For both of you, it is the first public board examination. Okay, so pehla point is, please do not panic. There are lots of people who are making a big this thing. Time kam hai, lage raho, 10 ghante padho, 12 ghante padho, and driving you to a sense of panic. My sense is that if you have been focusing on your mathematics, physics, biology, chemistry, or commerce, accountancy, economics, or history, civics, sociology, political science, whatever be your stream, and have neglected English so far, please do not panic. All I would say is do not panic. You still have about 60 odd days, roughly, actually 60 odd days in order to make up. Okay, so you don't really need to worry. 60 days is a lot of time in which to cover ground. Okay, you have 3 acts of Tempest, 5 poems and 5 stories, right? Now, point number 2, understand the format of the question paper. Question paper बदल गया है, पहले की तरह नहीं है. PYQ सॉल्व करने से आपको मदद नहीं मिलेगी बाबू. इस बारी आपको इस बारी नए फॉर्मेट के हिसाब से अपनी तैयारी करनी पड़ेगी. ओके, सो प्लीज गो टू CISE.org, लुक एट द 2023 का स्पेसिमन पेपर. ओके, नाउ वी हैव 4 टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. 4 टाइप्स के क्वेश्चंस हैं. ओके, देयर आर नो रेफरेंस टू कॉन्टेक्स्ट या 20 मार्क्स के क्वेश्चंस, वो सब हट गए हैं. व्हाट यू नाउ हैव आर MCQs. You have reasoning questions for 1 mark each. Then there are 5 mark के questions and then there are 10 mark के questions. So 20 mark का question is out of the window. Reference to context questions are out of the window. तो पूरा format, पूरा ढांचा एक तरह से बदल गया है and you need to be aware of this new format. Okay, that's absolutely essential. You need to do. A related question is, many of you have been asking what are the reference books or sample papers you need to look at for class 12 English literature examination. Now, since PYQs are no longer relevant, you could look at this sample papers, okay, which have been put out by Oswald Publications. These contain what? 5 solved sample papers and 5 unsolved sample papers. But वो unsolved sample papers के they have given you the hints so that you know an idea. Once you do it, you can always match it with the hints to get an idea whether you have solved it correctly or whether you have answered it correctly. Both MCQs, reasoning, as well as the subjective question and answers. This in fact is available for both class 11 and 12. So even class 11 students can buy a similar book. This is for class 12. There is another one which is available in the market for class 11. So you can have a look at that. So it will be a good idea to test yourself on these Oswald question papers. Now let's come to the specifics. Tempest की बात करते हैं. Act 3, Act 4, Act 5 है. Okay. Attention to detail. Please note it down. Attention to detail. टेक्स्ट को आप जितनी बारी पढ़ेंगे उतना आपको फायदा होगा. ओके, बोथ फॉर MCQs एंड रीजनिंग क्वेश्चंस. ओके, 10 मार्क के ये, 10 मार्क के ये टोटल. I mean, you will have prose, reverie, echoes and Tempest, 10 mark ke MCQs. Similarly, for the reasoning questions. So what it means is you need to read the text multiple times, because I'm saying this and I'm saying this again and again is that because many students, many of you have a habit of reading the summary. इसकी कहानी समझ में आ जाए काफी है. काफी नहीं होगा. काफी नहीं होगा unless you want to give marks away in charity. काफी बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. Okay. In reasoning questions you will be asked why something like this happened. Because. So you need to know the twists and turns in the Tempest in order to be able to answer those questions correctly, and for that the grasp of the text is very important. In MCQs, please pay attention to the small factual details. MCQs mein you will not be asked, opinion based questions, but factual details par dhyan de. For example, what was the game that Miranda and Ferdinand were playing when Alonso and the rest of the royal party discovers them? Those kind of very factual kind of questions. Okay, just to let you know, we have the awesome Tempest course for 12th class. We have one for 11th class also, in which we deal with the first two acts, right? In which we have done detailed explanation videos, we have notes, we have MCQs, and we have Q&A, right? So it deals with the entire gamut of how the answers have to be written, what is to be written, and in what way it has to be written, and how much is to be written, right? So you get a very clear idea. So you could have a look at the Tempest, or it's called the Awesome Tempest 12th course on the SWS app. The link is in the description box. Number 2, let's come to the poems. The poems are not as simple as your treasure trove poems of class 10. Let me make that very clear. By now you would know that also. These are extremely deep and complex poems, so please give them time, understand. Okay, if you think you can read a summary of the music makers or Birches, right, one day before the examination, and to be able to answer a 5 mark or a 10 mark question, sorry to disappoint you, you may not be able to do justice to it. Okay, all the 5 poems have been done by me on YouTube. They are free for you out there. Please make use of those videos. Okay, we have done it in great detail. Because I am a student of literature, I do things in detail in terms of explaining each and every word and line, right? I don't do a summary. Okay, listen to them at 1.25x speed, no problem. Before the examination, don't waste too much of time. Make your short notes one day so that you can use them 1 day or 2 days before the examination. 10 तारीख, 11 तारीख, 12 तारीख को रिवीजन करने के काम आएगा. ओके, बर्चेस का नोट अनलॉक्ड है ऑन द टेम्पेस्ट कोर्स. आप टेम्पेस्ट कोर्स के अंदर जाएंगे, आपको वहां पर बर्चेस के नोट्स अनलॉक्ड मिल जाएंगे. For the rest of the students on our Tempest course, of course, what we have done, because we want to give more to the students who are part of our Tempest course, I have provided them with notes of Wordsworth, also of music makers, and of course Birches, which is unlocked. 11th class के लिए, in fact, there are many more notes. I think 3-4 chapter के notes वहां पर भी आपको मिलेंगे. Okay, let's come to the stories. Character analysis, very important. Make points of each of the central characters. ये काफी काम आएगा. Okay, and also include the keywords that will be used to describe those characters. Okay, for instance, the words that describe Miss Meadows, or the poet in Wordsworth, okay, or Basil in a singing lesson, or in the Tempest, Prospero and Caliban. Okay, make a list of those words for use in the answers. Now let me come to the last point, how to deal with the long format section B ka questions. Prepare thematic. If you are not part of our courses, please prepare thematic and character based answers. Okay, these questions will test your ability कि कितना आपको understanding हुआ है play का या poems का या stories का. So work out, say, the Prospero Ferdinand का dialogue, okay, or the mask scene. Then जो भी dialogue बाजी हुई between the mythological characters in the mask scene. Then the Act 5 के characters and the themes which are there, the theme of forgiveness, the theme of repentance, the theme of reconciliation, the significance of the epilogue, then the theme of independence, very important as far as Ariel is concerned, how Caliban's entire plot becomes a flop, his whole relationship with Prospero. So all those things, अगर आपने main points लिख दिए हैं with keywords, आपको एग्जामिनेशन हॉल में ज्यादा सोचना नहीं पड़ेगा. You won't have to spend time thinking about it in the examination hall. So you need to be very clear about the key plot points also. After the character analysis, the thematic points, the plot points, right? Sound machine में क्या turning point है? Wordsworth में what is the theme that has been worked out in this entire story, right, by Naipaul, or the character of the main title character in Wordsworth, उसके बारे में, right? If it's a 5-mark question, okay, ensure that you are making at least 4 distinct points in that 5-mark question. Please ensure that, okay, while establishing the context of the answers. 3 to 4 clear distinct points, अलग अलग होने चाहिए, अलग अलग पैराग्राफ में लिखिए, ताकि एग्जामिनर को पता चले ओके दिस स्टूडेंट हैज मेड दीज क्लियर पॉइंट्स. ये नहीं कि पूरा मडलअप करके एक पैराग्राफ दे दो और बोल दो कि खुद ढूंढ लो पॉइंट्स. नहीं ढूंढेगा, आपको उसके हिसाब से ही मार्क्स मिलेंगे. ओके, लास्ट पॉइंट, ऑलवेज टारगेट एंड अटैक द क्वेश्चन डायरेक्टली. अगर टेम्पेस्ट का एक पर्टिकुलर सीन के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है तो आप शुरू से मत कहानी शुरू कीजिए कि प्रॉस्पेरो को 12 साल पहले ये हुआ वो हुआ. नहीं, उस सीन के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में क्या सवाल पूछा गया है उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आप जवाब देंगे. सो प्लीज गिव द आंसर इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर सीन अबाउट विच the question has been asked. Okay, so getting to the point straight, extremely important. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful. As I said at the beginning, we believe in giving practical tips which you can use, which each one of you can use. No बेकार का फालतू ज्ञान out here. Okay, उतना ज्ञान नहीं है अपने पास जितना ज्ञान है आपसे ही मिला है, आपके साथ डील करते हुए मिला है, and that's what I would want to give back to all my dear students. Thank you very much for watching.